Halfway down the street on the left side is a white building with a blue sign on top. That building is at Times Square. If you've ever seen them bring the New Year in New York City on television, they drop a big bulletin, and that's where it happens, right there at Times Square. Now, on our right side, this is New Jersey. On our right side, it's the state of New Jersey. It's called the Garden State. And if you look straight across on your right, there are two brown buildings at the water's edge that are joined up on the top. See them? The same kind of buildings are over on your left side, too. Brown buildings joined on top. These are the ventilating towers for the Lincoln Tunnel. The Lincoln Tunnel is directly below us here. It's 100 feet below us right here. These buildings change the air in the Lincoln Tunnel every 90 seconds. Now, some of you may have driven through that tunnel on your way into Manhattan today. You see the elevated road on your right side? That's the Jersey approach to it. And now you just crossed over that tunnel. See all those bumpers? Now, on your left side, that's the Empire State Building inland and towering above everything else. That's not a good view of it, though. We've got a better view of the Empire State Building a little bit later. Stay with your left side, though. You see this grade pier number 76. A little trick when you get down the Hudson River. If you want to know what street you're at, all you do is look at the pier number on the left and you subtract 40 from that number. You take away 40, that tells you the street. So 76 is at 36th Street. See what's inside of that pier? Automobiles. There are over 1,000 cars on that pier. And they've all been towed away by the police department. They park illegally. They park where the sign said no parking. Now, if you do that on Manhattan, they'll tow your car away, and they'll bring it over here, and you'll have to pay $180 to get your car back. So don't park illegally. It's $180. And if you don't pay up within 24 hours, they push your car into the river. No, they don't do that. They stopped that 2-3 weeks ago. Right behind that pier, you see the big black glass building? That's the Jacob Javits Convention Center. That's the biggest convention center in the Western Hemisphere, the Javits Center. So big you could play 15 football games in the building at one time on regulation-sized fields. It's 500,000 square feet. If it's so big, why are the Democrats having a convention at the Garden, Madison Square? That's because this is a number of rooms over. This is a whole new area on your right, called Lincoln Harbor. See in front of the blue buildings, there's a pier. Those are apartments on that pier. They're both condos right out on the pier. And then ahead on the right side, the city out ahead is, there goes the helicopter. Just look it up. So you got a meter in there, $40. $40. That's so exciting. The worst correct. Maxwell House Coffee Company. That's where they used to roast some packets, but they left recently in New Jersey. They did leave the sign behind them. One of the biggest signs on the river. There was a cup on the sign. If it was a real cup, they could hold 2 million cups of coffee. Which is a lot of Maxwell House. And incidentally, on this bar, they serve Chase and Sanborn or Folgers. And you can never know the difference. They also serve beer on this place. Beer, soda, sandwiches, all kinds of goodies. You can enter our snack bar anytime. They'll be happy to serve you that. Eating and drinking is encouraged. I know it's difficult to believe that, isn't it? But it's true. Okay, we got it. There's the Maxwell House Coffee Company on your right. And on your left side again, if you look back a bit, over your left shoulder, now there's a much better view of the Empire State Building. You see two sides of it. The building is 102 floors, and it's over on 34th Street, 5th Avenue. It's this beautiful The next tallest ones would be the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, which will pass in a little while, many Empire State Buildings. Now on your left side, you see those World Yacht boats, those are dinner boats. If you like to have dinner out on the water, see the lights of the city come on, dance to a live band, and do it in style, that's their specialty. Engineering school, the Stevens Institute. It's not just engineering, they get degrees in science and computer science and the humanities. And they own all that land over there. See that little green building straight across from the bow on the right side? The village is on your left side. The village is on your left side. It's a so-called Bohemian part of the city. Very truly distinguished for the people who live there. The artists, the actors, the writers, the musicians, and twice a year. They're held in the Washington Square area. Just crossed over the dollars to make a bunch of all Jesus going on here. And ahead of that is a white bird. See that bird sitting on that barge over there? It's a sculpture of a Hudson heron, 40 feet high, and 4,000 pounds. It was created by a Long-Island sculptor who lived in the city for a while. Behind that is a long low building, which is the Borough of Manhattan Community College. And then that orange, or rather yellow kind of building, Noel New over here, the new Stuyvesant High School. Stuyvesant High was the finest high school in the United States. That's the new building, remember. And most of you can't see them anyway, they're so high. See all the buildings and the land on your left along the shore, it's all filled in land. They've had 100 acres of new land on them, and by filling in the river, 100 acres. And they built apartments, office buildings, parks, this is a really very ambitious project. It's called Battery Park City. The work of this many years is just about complete now. There's a park right here. See these buildings straight over? They're all owned by financial institutions. Merrill Lynch owns one. The Dow Jones people, they have one. And the tallest one with the pyramid top, that's the world headquarters for the American Express Company. That's the American Express building. Now, I understand they're going to put a statue up in the world that is bigger than Big Ben. This clock here measures 50 feet across the face of it. 50 feet. Yeah, it doesn't look big at all. It's so deceptive. See the minute hand on the clock to indicate 1 minute, the hand jumps 3 feet. Every minute 3 feet. When I take hands on a quarter off or quarter after, in that position there is room on the hand for 15 men to stand shoulder to shoulder. 15 very skinny, courageous men who drink a lot. I saw 15 of them up there last night. They're just like that. It's beautiful. At night they have club lights on there. This is where Liberty State Park in Jersey City. And also leaving the Hudson River behind us right now, and we're going out to the bay, the upper end of New York Bay. In approximately 10 minutes we'll sail past the Statue of Liberty. About 10 minutes. Now listen, when you get out into the Statue of Liberty, everybody gets to see it up. Now they closed Ellis Island in 1954, it was closed, It was reopened just a couple of years ago. Ellis Island is now open to the public. It is part of a national park and historical site. You can visit Ellis Island, you can see what the immigrants thought. 1 out of every 3 American citizens can trace their roots through Ellis Island. 1 out of 3. Most of the immigration took place at the big building with the minarets atop, and that was called the Great Wall. See that little wall around the edge of the island? It's made of copper. Now it's starting to turn green as the salt evolution. Well, let's go to all that thing, and here's the Lady of the Lamp, the Statue of Liberty on your left side now. Good view of her. And the statue is very beautiful at night, too. You know, at night the torch is illuminated from within. Then they play floodlights on the rest of the statue from the island below, so it's very quite beautiful at night. If you ever go out there sometime and pay a personal visit to the statue, there is an elevator that lifts you all the way up to the top of the brick pedestal. See the glass over? An elevator will take you up that high and you can go outside, look around. And from there, you know, you can continue on. You go right up into the pit. You can look down for the crown. You see those are windows. Go around the crown, 25 windows. However, if you want to go up into the head, you have to walk up there. You have to walk 189 steps on a twisted, narrow, full staircase. It really is a hike, 189 steps. I get tired just thinking about walking up to that. Brooklyn is the largest part of New York City by population. There are about 3 million people living in Brooklyn. And if Brooklyn were a separate city, it would rate as the 4th largest city in America. But it's not a separate city. It's by New York City. Well, they have their own museum, opera house, and Philharmonic Hall. And it's called the Borough of Churches. There are over 3,000 churches in Brooklyn. And speaking of Brooklyn, we have a group with us here today from Brooklyn, from Jassa, Warbase, Trump, senior citizens from Bright Beach in Brooklyn. Welcome to you, and welcome to this program. Bright Beach, if you were to sail up to your right and go under the Verrazano Bridge, a couple of miles past it, make a left turn, you come to Bright Beach. You come to Coney Island down there, too. Now we're heading towards the East River, and we're going to be going into the East River, heading up the east side of Manhattan. And out ahead on your left side, Manhattan Island, and that is one of the most photographed views of New York City, too. It's a view of Manhattan that appears on so many postcards and magazines, the skyline. When you see pictures of New York City at night with all the lights, that's the area that you're usually seeing those photos of downtown financial district. And you're going to have that in view for at least 10 minutes. The sun is now coming in at the right angle, so if you have a camera, you get some pretty good shots here. Yeah, we hope you're ready to take pictures. There's only one Manhattan skyline. And besides, we do sell film on this boat. And that's why they put that skyline up there in the first place. What? You didn't bring a camera on this boat right there? Shame. However, don't despair. You can buy a camera or a snack bar downstairs. It was incredible to camp. They sell them now. They have what? I forget what it's called. It's like a disposable camera. And it comes with a roll of film in it, 35 millimeter, 24 shots. And the cost of the whole thing, I think, is $10. $10. Get down there quick before those prices go up. Get your security. Get a picture of the Twin Towers. See the bars in the windows. They hold prisoners there, which uses the guardhouse. During the Civil War, Confederate prisoners, and then during World Wars I and II, they held prisoners. All 4 lanes back on the right. The cannon on top was never fired in anger, but it was fired years ago to salute ships from time to time. You see it back there, sort of aiming at us? So we're strange men doing something. You hear that whistle? The Silent Ferry Boat. The big orange pillared boat out ahead there on the left. You slip right down. You're pardon the expression. That boat is going 7 miles across the bay to the borough of Staten Island, and it became famous because of the price that they used to charge for the Staten Island ferry ride. Anybody know what it used to go through in Italy? Somebody said it, yeah, it was a nickel. It was 5 cents. It's gone up now. It's gone up to 50 cents in its round trip and going up to $1. But that's it. That's a mistake. Now we go right behind it. There's a big building that looks like a honeycomb, a big square, little squares, gray squares. That's number 1 New York Plaza. If you saw a movie called Working Girl with Sigourney Weaver and Melanie Griffith about a year ago, that's where they filmed the office scenes for Working Girl. And these little white boats on your left are the Governor's Island ferry boats operated by the Coast Guard. And on your right side, beautiful building over there on your right at the end of Governor's Island. It looks like a monument. Actually, it's the ventilating shaft for the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. And it's the longest underwater tunnel in the New York area. It stretches 2 miles underwater from Brooklyn to Battery Park. Remember I was telling you about the piers and the men no more cargo ships? You know, going to Brooklyn back on the right. See all those red units back there? I don't see any cargo ships today, but I do see the container units. Those red units are container units. Those are the Erie Basin Red Hook terminals in Brooklyn. And now you're entering the East River. We're going to head north 13 miles up the east side. Let's have a look on the right side again. Just ahead and above the piers on your right, those homes you see over there, that's a neighborhood called Brooklyn Heights. Very fashionable residential brownstone neighborhood. There are over 100 pre-Civil War brownstone houses on Brooklyn Heights. And you see the ones that face the river, they sell for millions of dollars. We have many artists, actors, writers living on the Heights. It's a charming landmark neighborhood. And just above that highway is a promenade without and overlook the river. And it is a spectacular view of Manhattan at night from that promenade on Brooklyn Heights. It's really spectacular view. Now we're heading north on the East River, and on your left side now, for those who can see it, way out ahead on the left, there is a building that has a golden sky, Wall Street. You see the 2 white piers on your left? They look like balloons. Those are air domes. There's air holding them up. Beneath them a tennis court. They play tennis all year round at the Health and Racket Club at Wall Street. Now, Wall Street is just to the left of the white air domes. In fact, there's a little white boat docked on one of those air domes. See it? Right above that boat. That's Wall Street right there. All you do is watch that street. You're going to see it open up slowly. It'll unwind. And then at the end of it, you'll see this brown pointed church steeple. Here you go now. It's the church's Trinity. If you're in the front of the boat, look above that white air dome back there. See the flag flying in many of the buildings on Wall Street? It's opening slowly. If you're in the front of the boat, you're looking right down the street. There's Trinity Church right at the end of Wall Street for those in the front. See it? If you're in the middle of our boat, you're starting to see that right now. Towards the back. Now you can see Trinity. All the way in the back. It's your turn now. You see it? I see people looking in the wrong direction. It's probably gone now. Did anybody see that church? 2 of us. 3 of us. You saw that church, you saw Wall Street. And there's the South Street Seaport on your left. See the big old sailing ships are 100 years old. The wave between the Peking, you can go down and visit them, you go right aboard. At South and Fulton Street, 100 restaurants and shops under that one river. And then straight over on your left, there's the gold top municipal building, the one with the golden statue of Civic Pride is the name of that statue. And you're about to sail under the Brooklyn Bridge. Here's the good old Brooklyn Bridge, the one that's been sold 10,000 times. If they really want to work on it now, you can hear the jackhammers going up there. Well, here's a bridge that was opened in 1883, about 10 years before the automobile was invented. This bridge was built for pedestrians and horse-drawn carriages. Before you go on it, on the right side, see that little barge right there on the right? Doesn't look like much, but inside it's a beautiful restaurant. That's the River Cafe in Brooklyn. If you like dining on gourmet food, having a wonderful view of the city and a great ambiance, the River Cafe. Bring lots of money with you too. Lots and lots of money, yes. Now the Brooklyn Bridge overhead, designed by John Wood, comes out of the Buck-Fuller building over your left shoulder back there on the waterfront. That's the home of the Post. And you're about to go on another bridge here. This one's called the Manhattan Bridge. When you sail beneath the Manhattan Bridge, you might hear a rumbling sound over your head. It's a subway train crossing the Manhattan Bridge. That's used by subways, cars, trucks, pedestrians. Listen, I'm sure you'll hear those trains rumbling up there today. Actually, I don't hear anything up there. You no trains. No trains today. Too bad. Something must have gone wrong somewhere. Because all the subway trains in New York City are geared to coincide with the timing of Circle Line boats beneath that bridge. The whole system. Somebody good. What can we say? Except that the transit authority will influence without this. It is not going unnoticed. Here is the train now. Over your left shoulder. See it? It's going towards you. Some of the high price going to low price to medium price. Try to cover all. Right now, let's switch back to our right side. That barge on your right, Bouchard, is loaded now with fuel. 95,000 barrels of it. And they're pumping it off now at a power plant in Brooklyn. And they'll convert that oil into electricity. It's up to the Brooklyn neighborhood. Robert Fulton's steamboat, the Claremont, built at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Now, they've been in business for years, many years. They don't build warships anymore at the yard, though. The Navy gave it up after World War II. The city took it over. Pretty much subdivided for light industry, but they also do much ship repair work here, including Navy ships. In fact, that looks like a Navy ship straight up when you're right there in the hole. And then this big green one, there's a big super tanker over there that's been repaired. 50,000 tons. 50,000 tons of it, and they get right now. And it's very difficult unloading 50,000 tons of cement, especially when it's all in one piece. If you look back over your left shoulder, there's your last look at the Statue of Liberty underneath the bridges in the distance. Last look at this Liberty today. That's how I remember it. And that's a fireboat on your left. You'll see more of them today. That one can shoot 20,000 gallons of water every minute. We're going to have a break now, folks. We're going to have an intermission in about 10 minutes. Your ears are rest, hear my voice are rest. And give you a chance to try our refreshment stand downstairs. That's what it's really all about. So, if you want something to eat or drink, they're ready for you down there. Cold beer, soda, sandwiches, diet soda, ice cream, frankfurters, nachos, popcorn. Hey, it's wonderful. How about it? The older red brick ones there, that goes back away. Now look inland, there's that gold top tower. That's the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. And straight over on your left side, the Great Bank building over in Long Island City, Queens. New building over here. To put it up in an industrial area, and it's going to change the whole neighborhood over there. That's the Citibank building. They say that's just a 5-minute subway ride from Midtown Manhattan. I've never seen a 5-minute subway ride. Now back on your left side again, if you can, look ahead a bit and look inland beyond the smokestacks. You can see the top of the Chrysler building. It's a building that has a silver spear or spire on top of it. And the gargoyles were actually fashioned after the hood ornament of the 1929 Chrysler automobile. It was the land of ours. The flat top one next to it, the old Pan Am building, now a little bit. If you look out ahead on your left, right on the waterfront, that's the United Nations development coming up here on the shore. The UN, right at the waterfront. 5.5 acres of glass in the face of that building. All those windows. Those windows get washed twice a month. By one man. When he works at it, he never takes a break. He never stops for lunch. And I spoke with him recently. He says he's sick of it. Well, that's what he said recently. We'll keep you posted about his attitude. There's the General Assembly in view now. See the one with the gray dome on top? The General Assembly. That's not a bad view of the Chrysler building looking back, too. And you see the green building behind the skyscraper with a strange looking top? It's sort of angled like a ski jump on the top. It's the City Corp Center. And it's shaped like that because they had intended to put a solar unit on the top of this building. They need to air condition the whole thing facing south. Well, they never did. They never put it up there. I don't know why they changed their minds according to the people who live there. Now you see that townhouse go right over the highway, the red brick one with the 3-story window in the middle? That's the one that had been owned and lived in by Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis and now Aristotle Onassis. That had been their house. She now lives on 5th Avenue in an apartment building that overlooks Central Park. And across the street there's a little white house, and right behind it an old brown apartment. The apartment building is where Marilyn Monroe lived when she was on your right. It's the old red brick church in the courtyard, surrounded by modern buildings. And then you have this grass-fed area straight over. That's an all-year-round swimming pool over there. And then back on your left side again, one of the most beautiful